Taal Volcano latest 223 earthquakes rock the Taal Volcano, and Filmora warns of an imminent eruption, a sudden eruption. The update from Volcano Discovery on Taal Volcano. Current status, minor activity of eruption warning 3 out of 5. It's in Luzon, Philippines. It's on the Ring of Fire. It's just south of Manila. And we've had eruption. It's explosive type of eruption that will be taking place. And the eruptions are already taking place, and we have earthquakes. Just now, 2 magnitude, 12 kilometer depth. Yesterday, 2.2, 1.8, 2 magnitude. Before that, 2 magnitude, and they're just ongoing. Now, the background on this, the Taal Volcano with its lake filled, it's in a lake. It's 15 by 20 kilometers wide. The Taal caldera is a beautiful caldera volcano, but also one of the most active and dangerous volcanoes of the Philippines. Taal has had some of the country's largest and deadliest eruptions, at least 6 eruptions during the recorded history of the Taal since 1572, claiming fatalities mostly from powerful pyroclastic flows as well as tsunamis produced in the crater lake. Background on this, Taal caldera is largely filled by Lake Taal, whose 267 square kilometer surface lies only 3 meters above sea level. So you can understand that it would be explosive, almost like the White Island volcano of the North Island of New Zealand that erupted suddenly and explosively December 9th. So it's very low-lying. It's only 3 meters, that's about 9 feet above sea level. That's nothing. That's basically the size of a wave. The maximum depth of the lake is 160 meters. It contains several eruptive centers submerged beneath the lake. All historic eruptions took place from the 5 kilometer wide volcanic island in the northern central part of the lake. The island is formed by overlapping stratovolcanoes and cinder cones and tuff rings called maars. Historic eruptions have seen the constant change of and growth of the island, and Taal caused one of the worst volcanic disasters in history, erupting in 1911, causing ash to fall as far as Manila. And due to the devastating potential, Taal was declared one of the decade volcanoes in the Decade Volcanoes program of the 1990s in order to have an incentive study and monitoring of the volcano. Taal is today one of the most closely monitored volcanoes in the region. An increase in seismic activity under Taal was recorded in November 2006, followed by an increase in hot water springs in the crater of April 2007. And of course, they're telling us that we may have a sudden eruption of this. It risks erupting in the coming days. Officials warned after a day of intensive activity rocking the Philippines volcano with 223 earthquakes. That's one of the signs of an imminent eruption. We had that as well, the increase in earthquakes before the White Island volcano explosion, increase in inflation, just like the White Island had. The White Island was a hydrothermal explosion. The water was building up, and it was so superheated that it had to explode. Now, in this case, with the Taal volcano, geologists issued the alert February 4th, and warning the volcano could go off in weeks. Between Monday and Tuesday, at least 223 tremors rocked the volcano, including 8 low-frequency earthquakes. That means that there's magma coming in, and 1 harmonic tremor that lasted 3 minutes. That means definitely there's magma coming in. Low-frequency earthquakes could signify magma is working its way into the volcano, possibly a warning sign preceding an eruption. Tuesday night, the Philippines Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, PHIVOLCS, said the last 24 hours were marked by seismic activity, also toxic volcanic gas emissions. So again, you have all these signs that an eruption is imminent. Now, the update comes after the weekend earthquake around Taal were felt throughout the neighborhood, the neighboring municipalities, including the intensity 4 earthquakes in Laurel and Agoncillo, and also weaker tremors were felt in La Mary and Batangas, reaching north of Taal in Gaeta City. And as we said, it's very close to Manila, just south of Manila. 2 of the earthquakes were above 3.2 and 2.3 on Monday morning. Local residents were told not to approach the volcano within a 4.3 mile wide radius, that's 4 kilometers. Phil Volk said these earthquakes signify magmatic activity beneath the Taal that could lead to eruptive activity at the main crater. The level event, as we said, for Taal is 3 out of 5, meaning an eruption is possible in the space of a few weeks. And Phil Volks maintains the alert level since January 26 after downgrading from alert level 4, meaning imminent danger of eruption. Now, the volcano on the southern edge of Luzon Island was on Tuesday spitting plumes of dirty steam and smoke. The plumes were seen reaching at a height of 1,640 feet before drifting off into the southwest. And the Taal volcano has also been venting, as we said, volcanic gases. On Monday, spewing about 231 tons of sulfur dioxide. The volcanic activity does not subside. If it doesn't subside in the coming days, the volcano of Taal risks a third eruption this year. Now, according to the Philippine Department of Social Welfare, more than 482 people have been affected by the eruptions. It's displaced hundreds of thousands of Luzon residents when it erupted January 12th and 13, and the highest number of evacuees came from Batangas. Some 320,755 people were affected in this area. So the Phil Volks reminds the public that sudden steam-driven and even weak, frail magmatic explosions, volcanic earthquakes, ash fall, and volcanic gas explosions can still happen and threaten areas within the Taal volcanic island nearby lake shores. All this, of course, goes together. Now, they recommend that entry into the volcano island as well into the areas of Taal and communities west of the island within 7 kilometers of radius will be restricted, prohibited that is, and local government units are advised to assess areas outside the 7 kilometer radius for damages, road accessibilities, and to strengthen preparedness and contingencies and communication measures in case of renewed unrest. More warnings issued for people living alongside river channels where strong rain mixed with volcanic ash could develop into lahars, which move very fast and could cause mudslides of volcanic debris and ash. The residents of the area of Luzon have been warned of volcanic fissures spitting the ground open and frequent ash falls and minor earthquakes. So basically, it's a mixture of what we saw in Kilauea and also at the White Island altogether. And hopefully nobody will be close enough when this happens. They have had warnings and evacuations have taken place, thank goodness. Mrs. on Volcano Discovery and Express UK, Sebastian Ketley. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.